All right, Josh, I wanted to show you, promised you a second part on what we're doing with Mac. First video I showed you is kind of how we teach the command to come and to sit and to um, reinforce that with food. What I want to show you in the second part is how we're working on teaching little man here. Ooh, is that the scratchy spot? Yeah, it feels good. Teaching him to walk on a leash. Specifically, we're working on teaching the heel command here, and how we're getting started with it so that you can know what I did, and most importantly, to know how to keep building on this once your little bud here goes home. Um, so the important thing, first off, is to know what I'm using. Um, what I'm using is a leash that has a simple slip over the top so that it will slip. There's a ring that slides on this. And there's like 1,000 different ways you can accomplish this. There's a bunch of different versions of it. What really matters is that we're using it's called a slip lead. And the whole point of this is to um, give us a way to control Mac. And he wants to go say hi to my wife, but we're going to stay here. And this is actually a great example of what we're trying to do with him to help him to understand that when he is here doing what I want, the lead is loose. But when we want to correct him, then the lead will become tight. And so this is the major means for communication for how we move into the next phase of training. Not just rewarding with food, but now actually instructing using pressure. Good boy. Good. We reward also with praise. I'm not going to reward with food today, although you could reward with food if you're doing this, but yeah, good boy. Yes. Um, but the whole concept is what we call pressure on, pressure off. So when he is doing what I want, there's no pressure on the lead. When he needs to change, then there's pressure on the lead. And that's the whole point of how we teach everything to the pup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk and talk a little bit, and so you can see what I'm doing. Come on. Good. Heel. Good boy. What I'm looking at is I want him to be about a foot beside me, within a foot beside me. Good boy. Come on. Come on. And I want his nose in front of me, and I want his tail behind me. And every time he kind of gets out of that little reference spot, I'm going to give just a little tug on the leash to help him to understand how I want him to change his movement. Now, this little drill of walking at heel with a slip lead is going to end up being a huge part of how we teach him a lot of things. This really is sort of what we call really our home position. Because here's the thing: if your pup is here, and especially if he's sitting down, good boy. If he's sitting down beside you with a leash on him, you have total control of the dog. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. He can't run off. He can't jump all over somebody. You have control. And that's what we're looking for. So we want to establish that this is kind of the way that we control him. So walking at heel is a major part of all dog training, not even just gun dog training, but just dog training, obedience in general. So teaching him to heel is a never-ending part of dog training. We are always doing heel. Um, that's always useful. So the first thing we're doing is heel. Come on, with the leash. Good boy. Good heel. All right. And the next thing we're going to add to this, I kind of did just a second ago, but I didn't really say what it was. And that is to get him to sit with the leash. The way that we do that is I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to lift the lead up. Good boy. Good sit. Good boy. So when I stop, I lift up on the lead to apply pressure, and he sits his butt down. So we are teaching him now to heel and to sit. Good boy. Good. So heel and sit are the first two. Now what we're going to do, check out the third one we're going to add to this. I'm going to walk him around, and then I'm going to backpedal, and I'm going to give him the here command. Mac, here, here. Good boy. Heel. Good. So We're teaching him to come to me to get back to the heel position. Good boy. And sit. Good boy. Oh, we loved ear scratchies. He's such a sweetheart. And the other thing we have to consider, and I'm going to quit here, is we have to also consider what we know about Mac. Mac is an absolute sweetheart. He is, a real easygoing lover. He is, he's not a dog who's ever going to be, I don't think he would ever defy you intentionally, like to blow you off. It's just a question of helping him to understand what the commands are. And that's what the leash is about, is helping teach the command so then we can keep reinforcing it throughout his life. But all in all, Mac's off to a great start. He's a wonderful dog, super easy, super lovey, very sweet boy. You got a nice dog.